Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in today's video we are going to learn practice set 7.1 of the chapter coordinate geometry. So before we actually start with the practice set 7.1, let us revise whatever we have studied in the previous videos. So the basic of this coordinate geometry, you should be aware that on a graph paper there is one horizontal line which is called as x-axis, and there is one vertical line which is called as y-axis. I repeat, I am saying line, which means it has two arrows at the end. Okay, then so this is how a graph appears when you draw the x and y axis. Now here these arrows are to be drawn. The axes are to be named as x and y axis. If you see x axis and y axis, you have to name it like this. And this numbers have been put here. Now what is this? This box, this one side, this distance from 0 to 1 is 1 centimeter, and we say that this 1 centimeter is equal to 1 unit. Okay, when you have bigger numbers like 12, 18, 20 or bigger, then this 1 centimeter of distance becomes equal to some different units, which we'll be studying when we'll see the examples of the bigger values. Then due to this x and y axis, your graph paper gets divided into four parts, which is called as first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. This entire area is called as first quadrant. Similarly, second, third and fourth. Okay, then this is how we denote the points. We plot the points on the x and y axis. Okay, now what we are actually supposed to do here is we are supposed to look for the x and y coordinates, which means what? See here, suppose I'm drawing this point 2 comma 3. Now what is this 2 comma 3 representing? 2 represents its distance, its value on the x-axis, whereas 3 denotes its value on the y-axis. Okay, so the first coordinate or the first number which you get in this is always the x coordinate. It represents its value on the x-axis, whereas the next number always represents its place on the y-axis. Okay, so this is how we draw the x and y, any point. Also we name these points. Okay, suppose I name it as a, we name them by alphabets, the capital letters. Okay, then there is another point minus 3 comma 1. So check, this minus 3 represents the x coordinate, so this is the x coordinate, whereas 1 represents the y coordinate. Okay, now what is this? Now you see that there are four quadrants on this graph, and what are these x and y coordinates? See, if you have a point in this first quadrant, then its x and y coordinates are going to be positive. If you see here, both will be the positive values, because here the numbers are positive and here the numbers are positive. So all the numbers which will be lying here will also be positive. Okay, now in the second quadrant what happens? X value will be negative. The x coordinate is going to be negative. Now why is it so? See children, whatever points are lying in this region, its x value will be from this axis. Yes, so if you see, the numbers are negative, and that's why this x is going to be the negative coordinate, whereas values, look here, these numbers, these are positive numbers, that's why the y coordinate is going to be the positive one. Okay, now let us go towards the next one. In the third quadrant, if you see, x and y coordinates both are negative. Why is it so? Because whatever points will lie in this portion, its x coordinate will be corresponding to this x axis, right? And these are negative numbers. Similarly, y coordinates will be lying on this axis. So if you see, they both, the x and y axis has these negative numbers here in the third quadrant, and as a result, third quadrant will have negative coordinates of x and y. Similarly, quadrant 4 will have positive x and negative y, because the x coordinates are positive and y coordinates are negative. So I hope you all understand this, that in first quadrant you have both positive. Remember like this, in the first quadrant you will have both positive, and opposite to it is the third quadrant which will have the both their values as negative. Then the second one, the x coordinate will be negative, and in the fourth one y coordinate will be negative. So this is how you remember so without looking at the graph also, if you are given any coordinate, if any point is given to you, you can easily identify if you know these uh, rules. Okay, now, so apart from the points, there are certain points which lie on the x and y axis also, like these. Look at this A point. Point A is 3 comma 0. This point is lying here. Okay. So why is it denoted as 3 comma 0? Why is it so? 3, as I told you, represents the x coordinate. So this 3 number is on the x, and that's why it is x axis. Why is y 0? Y value is 0 because on y axis this value is corresponding to this place, right? And that's why we have 3 comma 0. Similarly, look at this number. Now this point C is here. It is on the axis, okay, and therefore it is not having any x coordinate. On the x axis it is corresponding to O, right? And on the y axis, on the x axis it is corresponding to 0, and on y axis it is corresponding to 4, and that is why this is denoted as 0 comma 4. So what do we understand from this? That suppose if any point lies on x or y axis, suppose if any point is on x axis, then its x coordinate will be mentioned, but the y coordinate will be 0. If any point is on y axis, then its x coordinate will be 0 and y coordinate will be the given value. So I hope everything is clear to you. With this, we start our first exercise, practice set 7.1. Now, state in which quadrant or on which axis do the following points lie. Now, the first point is minus 3 comma 2. So we have to recollect it is going to lie in which quadrant. Now before we do that, let us check whether it is lying on axis. Since there is no 0 in this point, the x coordinate is minus 3 and y coordinate is 2. There is no 0 here, right? So therefore this point is not lying on the x or y axis. This point is lying in some or the other quadrant. Okay, now as I told you that in the first quadrant both values are positive, and in the third quadrant both the values are negative. So definitely it is not lying in first or third quadrant. So what is remaining now? Second and fourth. Now out of second and fourth, I told you that x coordinate will be negative in the second quadrant and y coordinate will be negative in the fourth quadrant. Okay, so right now we have the x coordinate as negative, and therefore it will lie in the second quadrant. Now next point, both are negative. This is easy one, so it lies in the third quadrant. Both are positive, so again it will be in the first quadrant. Both are positive, again first quadrant. Again both are positive, first quadrant. Now one is positive and the other one is negative. So which one is negative? The y coordinate is negative, and hence it will be lying in the fourth quadrant. Okay, now next one, 3 comma minus 7. Here again the second quadrant, the y coordinate is the negative one, so definitely it will lie in the fourth quadrant. Then next, 0 comma 5 minus 5. Now look here, there is 0 in the coordinate. That means this is lying either on the x axis or on the y axis. So let us find out which one. Now since the x coordinate is 0, the value is given only for minus 5. That means y coordinate is given to you, right? And therefore we will say that it lies on the y axis. Next one, 12 comma 0. So again here now x axis, x coordinate is given, right? So this will lie on the x axis. Here in the next one, point N, here x coordinate is 0 and y coordinate is 9. That means it lies on the y axis. And lastly, 0 comma 2.5. So this 2.5 is a number given here and x coordinate is 0. So this will again lie on the y axis. Now next one, so minus 7 minus 3, this was easy, both are negative, so it lies on the in the third quadrant. Now, in which quadrant do the following points lie? So here is a statement given and we have to write down in which quadrant it is lying. So when both the coordinates are positive, we have learned it earlier children, when both the coordinates are positive, it lies in the first quadrant, right? Now, whose both coordinates are negative. So the opposite of the one was 3, right? So it lies in the third quadrant. When x coordinate is positive and y is negative, so y is negative, that means it will be the fourth quadrant children. Yes, and the next one whose x coordinate is negative and y coordinate is positive, so this will be undoubtedly quadrant 4, quadrant 2. Okay, now let us move towards the last question. Draw the coordinates on the plane and plot the following points. So there are certain points given to you and you are supposed to draw it on the graph paper. So you are going to do it in your graph book now. So the first thing that you are going to do is you are going to draw the x and y axis as I have drawn in the figure. Okay, now so you have to draw x axis. Okay, you have to write here x, here y. Okay, you have to show the arrows on both the ends. And you have to utilize the entire page of the graph paper. Do not draw the short lines. You can extend these numbers 6, 7, 8 also, and here also you can extend the numbers if you have some space here. So now let us do the solve the points, the plot the points which are given to us. Now the first point given to us is minus 2 comma 4, which means that x coordinate is minus 2. So where is minus 2 on the x-axis? It's here. Yes, it will be here. And where is 4 on the y-axis? So y coordinate 4 here. So the point will lie in such a way that where these two coordinates are meeting. Okay, so this is how you get your point L. Okay, now next let us have a look at the next one. 5 comma 6. Okay, so we have the next one as 5 comma 6 point M. So let us find out where is 5 on the x-axis. So 5 on the x-axis is here and 6 is here, so we get this point M here. Okay, similarly we have next one minus 3 and minus 4. So we'll take minus 3 on the x-axis because it is the x coordinate. So minus 3 on the x-axis is here and minus 4 on the y-axis. So here minus 4 will be below the x-axis. So here. So the point N is lying here where these two numbers are meeting. Okay. Now the next one 6 comma minus 5. So let me check where is 6. Okay. So let us check the 6 on the x-axis. It is here and minus 5 is down here. So our point lies here. Okay. And then 7 comma 0. Now 7 children. So 7 is the x coordinate whereas 0 is the y coordinate is 0. That means this is lying on the x axis. So where is the 7 of the x axis? It is here. See. And that is why this is R. On the axis only we are drawing point S. Okay, now next one t 0 comma minus 5. So minus 5 is the y coordinate which is given to us. We are going to look for the minus 5 on the y axis. So it's given here, it's somewhere here. Yes, so we denote it and we also denote the point with the letter which is given to us, which is t. So this is how we draw the points on the graph paper. Thank you.